Hi, my name is Carson Brady, and this is my current event speech. The current event that I'm going to be talking about is the U.S. immigration policy and the zero tolerance policy specifically that was brought about in the Donald Trump presidency that included up to 5,000 families being separated. People wanting to come to the border and come into the U.S. for a different or a better life than what they had back home, and immediately being ripped away from their children, parents being separated, not to be seen sometimes for years. Even to this day, there are hundreds of children who are missing or haven't been reunited with their families. Even with Biden, who has set in a task force to try and find these children, find these parents so that they can reunite. But it was thousands of children put in literal cages for years. That is, it in no way should be acceptable. It's not okay. The U.S. immigration policies cater towards the rich and the powerful, and I don't think that that's right. I think we need to find a way to prevent that, to make it fair for all. It takes up to $11,300 for a current resident to become a citizen, and that's just a resident. Becoming a citizen is only half the battle. When you first get here, you have to fight for your visas. You have to fight for your residency. You have to fight for your green cards, a right to stay here. Once you get that right, then you have to keep fighting with the system. You have to keep fighting. You have to spend more money. You have to get more legal fees. You have to buy more visas. You have to work 3 times as hard as the average U.S. citizen just to become a citizen when you're coming from such struggling backgrounds. A lot of the people who want to come here want to come here for a better life because they were struggling where they were originally from. And coming here, they end up struggling even more because they need significant amounts of money for long periods of time to become a citizen in the first place. It can take years and years and years and years to get here and the end goal of becoming a citizen. It takes a long time. The average processing time of an application to become a citizen is 14 and a half months, over a year, just to process the application. That's not okay. Not everybody has that amount of time to wait. Not everybody can come here and wait for years and years and years, and while they're waiting, their rights are severely restricted. They're treated as second-rate people, not just second-rate citizens, because they're not even citizens. Some of them aren't even residents, just here on a visa, just trying to get by. But they can't vote. They don't have a say in our democratic system. They don't have a say in almost anything. And when they do get here, there aren't a lot of pathways to become a citizen. There's really only one. Pay your legal fees, wait the required 5 years before you can become a citizen, and that's it. People who come here undocumented, maybe running away from something worse in their home country, there's no line that they can get in to become a citizen naturally. They get kicked out, and then they have to come back in, spend thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in order to fight for their citizenship. And it's just difficult for them to be able to do that. We as a country should not actively discourage those who need to come into this country, who want a better chance at a better life. I think we need to work towards, as a country and as U.S. citizens, making it more accessible for everyone who needs and wants to come into this country. So, to start a group discussion, I have a couple of questions that I can ask. First, what are some things we can do to make naturalization or citizenship more accessible and not just for the rich and powerful when they come into this country?
Make it less expensive.
Less expensive? Think we can try and make it a little bit less expensive, maybe less legal fees, not require as many lawyers. You don't have to stick with spending tens of thousands of dollars just on legal documents. Make it a little bit simpler, maybe, to read over the documentation.
Yeah, because a lot of people come in and they don't speak the language, so how are they supposed to look over the legal documents if they don't understand what they're signing?
And even for us as citizens, a lot of these legal documents are in legal speak, law speak, so we don't even understand what they're saying, even though we speak the language. So they end up needing to spend that extra money, that extra time finding a lawyer. Next, what can we do, us specifically as citizens, to ensure that everyone who wants to come into this country gets a fair shot at coming in?
We could try voting for representatives to help us pave the way for this kind of change.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think doing our research as citizens, using our legal right to vote, not just on presidents, but for local representatives, for Senate members, for Congress members, everything, people who actively want to make a change in this field, we have that power to go out and vote for these people. Lastly, why, up to this point, has it gotten so difficult to immigrate, to come legally, to naturalize in this country? Why have we gotten to this point where we're at right now, where it costs tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, to come here legally, and decades of time just to be able to stay and get treated the same as everyone else? Why has it gotten so bad?
I think a big part of it is racism, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially, our former president, Mr. Donald Trump, saying that people that come from Mexico are rapists and drug dealers. They're seen as lesser people to begin with. So a lot of people think, oh, they're coming to steal my job, when there are jobs available for everyone. But it is very much a societal thing where it is stuck in people's heads of, oh, they're coming here illegally, they're bad, send them home.
Yep.
When all they want is a good life.
I think it's definitely a lot of our upbringing, how we've been raised. A lot of that stuff is systematic. It's stuff that's ingrained into our being, not just as a country, but a lot of citizens think that way too. And it's just, they look at these people not as people, but as criminals, rapists, parasites, people who don't belong here. So I think we need to start shifting our mindset and making it easier for people who need to be here to come here, so that we can become what we originally were, a mixing pot meant for everybody, not just the rich and elite. Thank you.
Absolutely.